about how it's not really media buying anymore in a sense. It's you're trying to build bridges between marketing and finance more so, where you're not actually looking at the old metrics to scale a brand that we would have looked at, like return on ad spend and these sorts of things. They're great for a screenshot, but you're, because obviously we work on a number of clients together, when we see what your team kind of talks about, it's more about contribution margin, it's more about MAR, it's more, it's you're kind of more so going into the finance side actually, but as well, how do you see that developing over the next, probably into 2024, but nearly beyond as well?
So it's an interesting thing, and I speak about this a lot with clients, especially as we start to bring them on board. The agency industry, you can look at it and go, cool, they're an agency, all agencies are the same, they do the same thing, they help businesses grow, right? But I see two very, very distinct types of agencies. So if you are starting an agency and starting something like that and things are going well, then you will be getting clients and you won't really be losing them because you're doing a good job, right? So very quickly, if you're doing a good job, you'll reach a point where the executive team can no longer have every client account in their head, right? At that point, it's a fork in the road. What most agencies choose to do is they go the volume route. So they will go, cool, we're not going to know what's going on inside every ad account anymore. We're not really going to care. That's what most agencies do. And they go, we're just going to hire as many team members as we can, bring on as many clients as we can. And that route is where they would massively systemize the process. They'd bring in a lot of automation so that it runs like clockwork, right? That would be like the McDonald's example, right? So it's where they can get anyone in, it's completely systemized, and they offer one very small specific service and they don't go outside of that. If they try to go outside of that at volume, it just breaks and it's a huge mess. From experience that we both have with certain clients, we won't name any names, but where they've come on board and they've come from previous agencies like that, it's been terrible, right? Mm-hmm. And to be fair to them, I don't think that's the case with every client ad account, because they run businesses, and if that, their business is successful, quote unquote, and if that was the case with every ad account, they wouldn't be here. However, I think the problem is quality control at that point, right? It's sometimes it works well if you have a good person running the ads. If you don't, it doesn't work well. We chose to go the other route, right? Which is the much more bespoke boutique route, where we cap the number of clients that we work with, so we don't go above a certain number, so that we can deliver better results to them. And typically we'll have some kind of performance-based pay, or pay that increases the better results we deliver, or the more that we scale the brand, so that we can get paid. We would then effectively scale vertically instead of horizontally, right? So instead of bringing on more clients to scale, we'll scale vertically by working with clients where we can provide a boatload of value, providing a lot of value to them with more services like the consulting side and going a lot deeper, so that we can do that. And so that side, for a volume agency to try and bring in all of that side around, cool, let's look at your finances, send us over your P&L, we're going to dig into this, we're going to look at your margins, we're going to see what makes sense for you. That would be impossible for those guys, right? For us, that's possible. So that's where we start to go a lot deeper on that. We consult a lot on that side, and we start to look into it. So to answer your question around the future of it in terms of what I see, 5 years ago, you could just put up a product photo on an ad, get crazy ROAS, and it performs super well, right?
The good old days.
The good old days of Facebook, which was, it sounded incredibly easy. But now it's completely different, right? It's a completely super competitive landscape. Cost per acquisition is rising, cost of advertising rising. Brands need to be a lot more in tune with their numbers to know, cool, okay, what are my margins? What CAC can I be paying? All this kind of stuff to be able to understand, okay, cool, we can actually scale. And there are a lot of brands that especially brands in the CPG niche, for example, that focus way more on LTV. And we have the odd brand where they go, cool, you know what, guys, we know our numbers so well now that we're happy to say, let's just acquire customers at break even, because we know the LTV is there and they come back day 30, 60, 90, whatever. And that makes sense for them. So it's very unique to each brand and looking at what makes sense for them.